Welcome, everyone, to another Sound Money Matters Live. This is your host, Daniel Diaz with Citizens for Sound Money. And we have a phenomenal guest, and we're going to be discussing quite a few things. We're going to be talking about the current markets, the bubble that's going on, the everything bubble. We're also going to be talking about goldbacks and the trends in the gold and silver industry. And I'm honored to have an amazing guest. He is one of the actually top distributors for goldback. He has a bullion business, and he's a true how do you say, not rags to riches, but he saw something happening during COVID. He's like, let me start a business. He started a bullion business, and it is extremely successful. I want to introduce everyone to Koda. Welcome, Koda. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you. A pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the audience, we were supposed to be on a computer, but Koda lost power, so we're using we're innovating. We're using a cell phone, and actually there's a little bit of feedback. I don't know, Koda, if you can check your settings, your mic settings, see if you can turn on the echo cancellation in your settings, because I can hear it on my end. But while Koda figures that out, we're going to be talking about quite a few things. We're going to be talking about what is going on with gold and silver. Why is it having a pullback? What's going on with the stock markets? What's going on with the global markets? And, we're going to get into Koda as a bullion dealer. I mean, not only does he sell goldbacks, he sells gold rounds, bars, silver, platinum, everything. So he'll be back. He's just restarting everything. But in the meantime, if those of you that don't know about Defy the Grid, they came out of nowhere. Defy the Grid is growing rapidly. And if you want to support Citizens for Sound Money and get some loot, you can go to defythegrid.com. There, he's back. Let's see. Let's get
let me go get some headphones real quick.
There you go. All right. So thank you guys for being patient. I mean, this is a live broadcast, so you never know what's going to happen. He lost power. He's getting headphones, and we're just having a good old time here. But go ahead and let's see the comments. What's going on in the comments? Hello from Texas. Hello, Barbara Wall. Neil. Buy silver, platinum, crystallized osmium. Yeah, that's actually the rarest precious metal. It's actually, I think, naturally a gas. If I'm not mistaken, it's poisonous until it's turned into a solid. Like and share if you're watching. Like and share, and we'll get here shortly to our normal questions. Check out defythegrid.com. That's our referral code. So Koda actually will give a percentage of the sales to Citizens for Sound Money as a thank you for what we do in the Sound Money movement. And there he is. Did you get your headset plugged in?
Yeah, just getting it plugged in right now.
All right, perfect. That works.
All right.
We got to do what we got to do in a live stream.
There we go. There you go.
Much better, much better. All right. So now that you're back, let's start the broadcast. The question that our late founder Jim Forsyth, he always asks new guests two main questions. And the first question is, why is sound money important?
Sound money is important because it's the way that you vote. I'm so sorry here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. It's good.
Yeah. Sound money is the way that you vote. If you don't like a brand, you won't spend money in that brand. That brand won't last, right? The problem we have with not sound money is the people who make the decisions aren't the people with the money. Well, I mean, they are the people with the money, but they manipulate the system with that unlimited money supply to override the voting system. So you're getting products on the market that poison you.
Yeah.
You're getting things like, for example, naked. There is an allegation against that naked drink that you see in the stores everywhere that it had formaldehyde in it.
Yeah.
Right? I bet you, like, you know, if it was up to the people and them voting for money or with their money, those types of brands or those types of mistakes wouldn't happen. And I honestly doubt it was a mistake, but But for legal purposes, you have to say allegedly, right, with everything.
Don't worry, we got a disclaimer scrolling across the bottom.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. So not only do we vote with our money, and one thing I like using Coda is Mike Maloney when he differentiates between money, which is gold and silver, and currency, which is the difference between money and currency is the lack of store value. So 100%. I mean, there's a great book. It's focused on Bitcoin, but all the same principles are there. It's called Fiat Ruins Everything. And it goes through every aspect of society. It goes through government. It goes through the arts. It goes through education. It goes through the family unit. And how fiat has basically destroyed everything. And the book's premise is we have to go back to a scarce hard money, which we believe in the gold and silver community is gold and silver because it's been money for 5,000 years. It's scarce. It's hard to get. There's economic energy you have to put out. So, yeah, I mean, sound money is important for every aspect of our human lives. And when we use a perverted version, you have situations where people focus more on greed. Greed's always there. But when you have an elastic currency, an unlimited supply of currency, there's things that cause those closest to the printing of the currency to get the full purchasing power and actually steal the wealth of the people. So, no, 100%. And I can hear the chickens in the background. It sounds like you live on a homestead.
Yeah, definitely. Our company, I mean, if this leads into like the next question, like, how'd we get started and everything? Defy the Grid, our company, was originally like a solar panel company. I'm a little bit embarrassed that our power went out just because at that time, right, we have like the grid as like a backup, but at that time we were just getting ready to connect some wires and things like that. But so you kind of caught me at like a really bad time. But yeah, here, this is we have just 2 acres. And we have lots of chickens. We have way too many roosters. We got some sheep, and we don't eat any pig or any pork that we don't know its name.
Good. That's how.
We got a pork. He's like a little bit rust color over there, and then we've got lots of dogs, lots of sheep, and yeah, we just try to do our best with being a little bit self-sustainable.
That's awesome, man. And Defy the Grid definitely fits your company because you're off grid, man, pretty much, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
And if we can't make it, our neighbors, they have cows. We built like a little community that, with contacts and, okay, where do you go if you want beef? Where do you go if you want herbs and things like that?
Yeah. So, what transitioned you from solar? Because we spoke a little earlier today about you're founding your company. You said when COVID happened, you kind of transitioned from solar to gold and silver. And tell us the story about that. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, so I was doing solar. Basically, what I used Defy the Grid for was just everything that I believed in, okay? So we had solar panels on there. We had de-Googled phones. So if you take your phone, right, like a regular Android phone, it pings Google's servers like every minute, every 30 seconds, and so forth. My wife and we switched over to de-Googled phones, and oh my gosh, our batteries lasted twice as long on de-Googled phones, right? Now we sold those. It was kind of a little bit sketchy. I bricked tons of phones doing this, but we found a way to just take Google off of your phone with like a totally new operating system that's totally custom. And we're very like picky as to like what kinds of apps we put on our phone and so forth. Make sure that it's security. And by the way, before this, back in 2017, I got my first real job, right, working for a Big 4 accounting firm. With that firm, I did cybersecurity, and that was eye-opening. How like vulnerable your data is. all it takes is for someone to accidentally click a link, and then that is just like the key to to
Oh, seems like we lost some folks. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, there he is. There he is.
yeah, here we go.
All
Okay, where did I leave off?
right. You were at well, the cybersecurity company, and I think how you clicked on the link. I think you ended where all you need to do is click on the link.
Yeah, click a link, and then like your data is just so vulnerable out there. And then, I just like knowing all the risks, I kind of want to come up with like solutions, right? So the de-Googled phone was something that I believed in. I believe in like keeping a food storage, right? And no matter where you live, you can stuff your closet with beans and rice and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. So I had all these different things on my website, and then, COVID happened. Everyone got locked down for however many months or weeks. Actually, we probably are still being locked down in unknown ways. But anyways, I noticed on the news, I knew a little bit about gold and silver. I cashed out my retirement and bought silver. And are you still there?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay. With that said, so I knew a little bit about it. I noticed that the media was demonizing cash during COVID. They were saying things like, "Don't use cash. Like the germs can spread on it, and it's not very sanitary." I saw that as demonizing. I knew the plan was eventually to go cashless. Okay. Yeah. And at about the same time, June 2020, I saw an advertisement or a podcast about goldbacks. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the solution. That's a decentralized solution to replace cash, right? When they finally go that way. There are certain things that me personally, I never buy with a credit card or debit card. You can probably guess what those things are, because it's the things that the government doesn't want you to have.
Can I take a stab at it? Guns and ammo?
I can't say anything. No. So here's also, we do gold and silver, right? But the even more precious metal out there is also lead.
Yes.
So
100%. Yeah. Have you heard of Ammo Squared?
I haven't. What's that about?
Ammo Squared is America's ammo reserve. So they're a private company where they have basically created a trading account for your ammo. So I have every paycheck purchase a certain amount of ammo. You can then allocate what percentages of specific ammo that you want, and it stores it. They have a vault in Idaho, and they have a warehouse in Texas they just opened up. And essentially, once you get the $250 worth of ammo, they'll ship you the ammo for free. Or you can have it stay there if you have a large hoard of ammo, which I have a few hoards. I have a spending hoard, a defense hoard, and a practice hoard. And it's great. I mean, I got ammo here, and I got ammo in the reserves. So whenever I want to take delivery, I can do that. And it's great. And you can trade it. So you can convert your ammo or sell it for cash or whatever you want. It's a fantastic system.
Gosh, that's almost like ammo futures. Like we're almost talking the same language as like, the bullion banks and futures that way.
Yeah, it's similar, but they actually put boxes with your name, and they're actually deposit the ammo. So when you pay, it'll show that you bought X amount of ammo. And then once they put it in your box, it fills in. So yeah, it's similar, but it's like allocated. It's like it's literally a warehouse check. You basically own the ammo, and they're just storing it for you. It's a great system. But
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. But actually, on that point too, I can't help but think back in 2020, right, when everything went crazy. the assets that went up higher than gold and silver, I mean, they did have a little bump and everything, but if I were to do it all over again, I would invest in ammo because those prices went up 3 times, right?
Yeah.
If you know like how the world works on fear,
Yeah.
and then I guess the absence of fear. When people are fearful, they do certain things, and if you know, and if you have a confidence in civilization, you can use that to your advantage, and as long as you have the confidence that you won't need that ammo in the future.
Right. Yeah, and some Fix the Money asks, are goldbacks the physical bills made of with gold? Yes, this is the Goldback website, and you can actually see that these are 24 karat bills, gold bills, or orums as they're called, and people are spending them. People are stacking them. As you see, there are over 3,600 merchants who take goldbacks for payments of goods and services. So yes, Fix the Money. That is that's what a goldback is. It's physical gold bills made of 24 karat currency, or 24 karat gold. I'm sorry, 24 karat gold. So sorry, I just wanted to pull that up, Koda. But yeah, no, I mean I'm 100% with you, man. I'm not off the grid. I'm on the grid, but I'm prepping like I'm off.
Yeah, yeah.
I have everything you need. So tell us a little bit more about goldbacks. You saw goldbacks, and what made you want to like start selling goldbacks and then going into a bullion and starting and transitioning from a solar company or off-grid company to, well, gold and silver and ammo is kind of off-grid company too. But tell us about that transition.
Yeah, that transition. So when I saw that advertisement, I noticed, oh wow, like I'm in Lehigh, like 5 or 10 miles away is Alpine, where Goldbacks got started. So I got in contact with the owner of Goldback, and I asked him just a simple question: hey, can we distribute it? And he's like, do you have a website? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And he's like, well, what's it called? Defy the Grid. And he's like, ooh, I like that.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, so and ever since then, I mean, I need to like fix a few things on the website, but I was able to do it. Since then, there's been a lot of people that like they call me and they're like, I don't even care about your prices. I just really love the name Defy the Grid.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it rings with I guess a lot of people's goals in today's day and age.
No, it's a great name, man. And people talk about it all the time. I'm in a couple of Discord groups that are like Orem advocacy grassroots organizations, and they always talk about Defy the Grid. A lot of them actually buy goldbacks from you, so it's a great name. I love it. It's not just gold and silver. It was everything, but that's because of your genesis.
Yeah, and the reason why we took the other things off is when we started selling a lot and kind of being like a threat to the other distributors. The other distributors were complaining about us. They're like, wait, why are you selling gold to them? They're not even a Bullion company, right? And so at that time, we made the decision, although we still support solar panels and de-Googled phones, where we went, wholly gold and silver and lead.
Yeah. And lead. I love it. That's awesome, man. So, you opened up the company. You transitioned from solar panels and generators, I'm guessing, and de-Googled phones to gold and silver. And would you call yourself like a gold and silver industry expert right now because you are in this industry?
I mean, expert, like I don't know if I would use that word, like just because. One, I mean, I still can't tell the future. I can't tell you if gold or silver is going up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anybody can. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I spend about 8 hours a day thinking about gold and silver. So if that qualifies me for an expert, I guess I'll take it. But honestly, I don't feel like an expert.
Okay. But you probably know more than most people. I think
there we go. There we go. I'm trying to take the humble approach too. Like,
I like that.
But yeah, honestly, like, yeah, I try to do what's right for all
Right.
my customers. There are certain products that I make more money on. There are certain products I make less money on, and I do know that people rely on my opinion,
Yeah.
and I try not to. I try to take their situation and just do the best for that. Like, for example, if someone had $100,000, I wouldn't say buy goldbacks. I would
Right.
say, well, have some in long-term storage like gold coins,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever you plan on spending, yeah, go ahead and get goldbacks with that. Whatever you plan on using, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That that's my approach too. I have a side business where I sell gold and silver. My rule of thumb, because I used to be a stockbroker too, I kind of bring that into my precious metals side of things, and I tell them, look, my rule of thumb is do 80% gold, 20% silver, and then you can do. Then I tell them also beyond that, and that's essentially I can get to that point after I tell them, look, you take 100, subtract your age, and what's left is what you can risk. Your age is the percentage that you should have in safe assets, and then of those safe assets, you want 6 to 12 months of cash. And to me, gold and silver is cash, but we live in a fiat world. So split that in half. If you're doing 6 months, have 3 months of currency, 3 months of gold and silver. If you're doing 12 months, do 12 months of gold and silver and 6 months of cash, so that your monthly expenses, your total expenditures. That
Hmm.
way, you spend your cash first, and you have time to liquidate your metals if SHTF, right? So that's kind of my rule of thumb. And then when people want to bring 100,000, if they're spending 100,000, they pretty much know what they want. But I recommend to them do a couple ounces or a few ounces, do fractional. I'm really big on fractional because I really do think gold and silver are going to skyrocket, especially with what's going on in the global market today. So I wanted to bring up this article that was on Kitco.com. It says major market top is in despite record AI rally, strategists warn. So this article is basically saying that all the gains in the stock market are primarily driven by AI stocks, Nvidia, and so forth. And if you take that out, the real growth of the US GDP is less than 1%. It's like 0.14%. When you add the AI in there, it's like 2-3%, whatever it is. So, and what it's saying is all the warning signs for the AI bubble, which is larger than the 2000 bubble, is there. It's screaming. The K divergence, the amount of revenue that the companies are making versus unemployment are diverging like a K. Bitcoin is screaming. So is gold. That it's a warning sign that something is not right. So since you're in the gold and silver, I mean, I'm assuming because you are giving advice, you're keeping an eye on all of this. What is your take, and what are you hearing in the markets right now? And what are you telling customers that? Because I get customers that are worried about their savings, worried about their retirement, their kids, and what's going to happen. And like it's like this underlying. And tell me if it's the same thing. There's this underlying, like a talking point amongst a lot of concerned people. Like, what do I do? What's your recommendation? They're coming and seeking advice. What do you see?
Yeah, although I never want to make people do something based out of fear.
Right.
Okay. That would be the worst time ever to make a decision. Like, I can't tell you, like, when I liquidated or actually when we sold our house, okay? This was back in 2021. Um, that was kind of like um, it was like a high for gold.
Yeah.
And I bought gold at, I think, like $2,200 at that time, and that was at the top at that time. Right now it seems like it was really low,
Yeah.
but but at that time that was like the wrong thing for me to do, because I had my money in gold for like, I think it was 9 months before it ever reached those highs again, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, it was kind of tied up. So I did that action was out of fear. Okay. I sold my house. I had $100,000 in equity. I put it in, and I did it as soon as possible. and that reaction was out of fear. I'm sad to say. Although I'm going to tell you some scary things with the market. Okay, I want you to go about it in a logical order of operation, right? I don't want you to fear. I don't want you to go defy the grid to buy more gold and silver, right? Um, Although that would be nice, um, but but just do it logically, okay? All of the things that we worry about in the gold and silver market, fractional reserve banking, okay? Your gold, if you vault it somewhere, I mean, if you're, I don't know how to say this without throwing people under the bus, but if you vault it somewhere, you have to have a lot of trust in who you vault it with, because they might be doing fractional reserve banking with your gold, okay? So that's the thing that we really worry about. What a lot of people haven't thought, and this is the scary part, okay? You have stocks, you have bonds, okay? Do you really own those? Do you hold those stock certificates? Do you hold those bond certificates? If not, do you trust the exchange or wherever it's being held that they're not doing fractional reserve stocking or bonding? Do you really trust that? And like the scary part too is again, I want to watch my words, but most likely they are doing fractional reserve banking with your assets. They're even your mortgage, that agreement between you and the bank gets sold off the minute that you sign those documents.
Yeah.
And at the end, like the next crisis, we haven't seen crisis yet, but the next crisis is when all of that gets unraveled, and then the real owners of those assets are revealed. And most likely, I mean, if you don't if you don't hold your bond, you don't own it, right? If you don't hold your money, the bank owns it. Yeah. If you don't hold your stocks, someone else owns it. And as well as gold and silver, just be careful. If you don't own your gold and silver or hold it, you don't own it. That's the really scary part. And you're seeing you're seeing like the next crisis kind of rear its head with like subprime auto loans just going out of business and going bankrupt. That's the very, very tip of the iceberg. The much scarier things are when everything unravels and everyone tries to figure out who actually owns things.
Yeah, and that's the major problem. I mean, that fractional reserve banking really started in the 16th century, and ever since then, what happened was there was goldsmiths or were vaulting gold, and then they realized, well, the owners of this gold really never come and pick it up. So let me write a few more certificates, a paper saying this is how much gold is in there, and that's when they started fractional reserving. Now it's a completely different level. And when you buy a stock, when you buy an ETF, or you buy, a futures contract in gold and silver, it says in the dotted line that you don't, they can actually liquidate your stocks and pay you whatever the liquidation fee once they sell that gold. So let's say you have $100,000 in, I don't want to say any companies, but let's say a futures contract or just some allocated gold. If they run out of gold or the markets crash and they liquidate, you might only get 50% or 25%. You don't actually own it. So there's something to be said about, holding your gold and silver. But there's also something to be said for companies that do auditing with major auditing firms. And the agreement between you and, let's say, the token holder or the digital owner of that gold, you actually own the physical gold. They are just a bailee. In the relationship where you are the owner, they're just storing it, and it's back 1-to-1. So, there's physical stacking, which, the phrase is very popular in with gold stackers and silver stackers. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. But there's also something to be said about, we're in the 21st century, and that there are good companies that actually allocate the gold 1-to-1 contractually, and then there's other companies that don't. And it's very hard to figure that out, especially when you're dealing with the stock market.
Yeah, and there are risks with everything. I mean, even holding gold in your home, right? You better invest in a security system.
Security system, TL30
Yeah.
vault. Oh yeah, safe. What I like doing is you just tear it out a wall, put the safe in, build the wall so they can't pull it out, so they're stuck in there and they have to try to break in to the safe.
There we go. My favorite is putting a panic button on your safe, and then putting instructions for the new employee how to open the safe with codes and everything. But the first thing you have them do is push the button to deactivate the safe, but it actually calls the cops.
Oh wow!
So,
you do that?
I can't say anything.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
but so yeah, it just buys you time, anyways.
Yeah, of course. What is your view on digital assets, cryptocurrencies?
Cryptocurrencies. I don't want to make any enemies here, but I mean, Dogecoin. Like having an asset in something where it goes up when someone sneezes, Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it. It's a joke.
It's gambling.
Yeah, exactly. I really, really love assets that actually have a function, right? Because let's and by the way, I do own Bitcoin. Okay, I'm gonna dog on Bitcoin just a little bit.
Okay.
A lot of people invest in Bitcoin because they think the price is gonna go up. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, right now, we have like IRAs that you're able to invest in Bitcoin, right? We have, I think it's El Salvador, where the government essentially says, yeah, we're going to make our Bitcoin a legal tender, right? Yeah. So, after you have all of the governments in the world investing in Bitcoin and using it, like, why invest in Bitcoin if you don't see the price in the future that it's going to go up, right? So I have a lot of skepticism towards like the end game for Bitcoin as compared. I mean, right now it's great, okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't own any of it. But likewise, on the other side, I hope I didn't how many people do you have watching right now? Like, I hope I didn't drop off like 50%.
No. We have 50 people live right now. 41 on X and 9 on YouTube.
Yeah. So with like these other assets, the assets that have like functionability, like I just want to name drop one, XRP. It's actually being used to replace the SWIFT system. Like that is huge. That is huge. And I mean, if I could get in now with, or liquidate some of my gold and silver, if it wasn't my business, I would do it. Right. Don't do that. Yeah. Buy it, defythegrid.com, everyone. Trade your code. Yeah, trade your XRP at Defy the Grid. Actually, I better activate that. So yeah, you can actually spend XRP at Defy the Grid.
There you go. But that's one way to do it. Sell your gold and silver and get paid in XRP. I like
it. There you go. Actually, yeah, we could totally do that.
Yeah. I take all forms of cryptocurrency. I've only gotten Bitcoin and stablecoin so far, and some KAU and KG. So I convert digital gold and silver into physical gold and silver. But it's definitely something you can do too at Defy the Grid.
Yeah, the awesome thing, right, is about like stable coins, right? I always thought, well, stable coins, like coins, they that's kind of a scam because you're losing your money to inflation, right?
Right.
But I saw the utility because you are able to send me a stable coin, USDC. It's extremely cheap to do that. And you don't even have to go to your bank and ask permission to do that.
Yeah.
You just do it, right? And with the bank, to send a wire, I get charged $25 per wire. My customers usually get charged like $30 per wire from their bank. But with like cryptocurrency, even though I thought stable coins were just like there's no price volatility. I mean, there are, but that's that usually gets fixed, right?
Right.
But like stable coins are awesome, and we have like you can send us if you buy gold and silver. There's no fees if you use USDC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great way to transfer, your economic energy, as long as you don't save in stable coins, right?
Yes, yes.
And for us at Citrus Sound Money, we believe there's only two forms of money: gold and silver. And when it comes to asset-backed digital currencies, it's as the title says, it's a digital currency that's backed by assets, real-world assets, gold and silver. They're also tokenizing cattle. They're tokenizing uranium. They're tokenizing even treasuries, right? But there's different categories we qualify. Tier 1 is basically redeemable gold and silver over a certain threshold. I think it's 100 grams of gold, 200 ounces of silver. That's a Tier 1 asset-backed digital currency. Like Tether and PAX G, they use 400-ounce bars, so that's tier 2. It's real money, but you can't, unless you have $2 million, you're not going to redeem a 400-ounce bars gold. Then tier 3 are like other assets, real estate, or not real estate, like stocks, bonds, fiat currency that's redeemable for something that isn't real money. And then number 4 is things that you can't redeem, like tier 4 are like land and whatever real world asset that's tokenized. But yeah, for us, what was innovative is blockchain technology, because with blockchain technology, I can pay you in digital gold and silver, just like I can send you a stable coin. I can send gold and silver to anyone around the world using, Kinesis, gold and silver, or if you're in the US using the UPMA system, where I can send it to people within the system at the UPMA Alpine Gold, where I can send you digital gold dollars, silver dollars, or goldbacks. So they're in packs. If I want to go outside the sound money monetary systems, there's only 2 companies that are sound money monetary systems that are electronic and redeemable for gold and silver. Right now, that's Kinesis and the UPMA Alpine Gold. There are other platforms that are just savings, right? One Gold, you have Glint, you have others right now that you can only just put gold and silver in there. You can't transfer peer to peer to other businesses. So what we say in C4SM is gold and silver is money. Everything else is either credit or an investment. And for me, Bitcoin is the best investment that mankind has created. You have to time it right. I think that we are in an everything bubble right now. And I follow some of my favorite technical analysts, and they put this out today. This is a chart of what many cryptos look like today. And over, let's see, this was back in April. I mean, it's gone on a major bull run, but they do a technical analysis. And if right here, they're saying that if the gold crypto breaks down below these points, no bueno, right? It's no bueno below this line. And we're below that line. I think this is in line with the macroeconomics of the world right now. And what North Star bad charts have created, they've identified trends throughout human history, especially in the last 150 years. It's called the capital rotation event. And what they've identified is when all these boxes get checked red. So far, almost all of them have. We're at 10 out of the 12. And when they check red, it says here, these boxes turn red when the elements within them enter a bear market versus gold. This only happens during the capital rotation event. One by one, they turn red as the capital rotation process continues, leading to eventual event confirmation. This leads each time to gold rising hundreds of percent. Stock markets fall 50 to 80% over a 1 to 2 year period. Stock markets then take many more years to get back to their previous highs and make a new high. That marks the next rotation in favor of stock markets and risk assets. While stock markets slowly call their way back to the previous highs, gold, silver, commodities, energy, oil massively outperform, rising hundreds, in some cases thousands of percent. So today they updated this and said the SPX, which is S&P 500, is currently breaking down against gold, and the NASDAQ There hasn't been any new highs in 24 years, and it failed to break out. So the Nasdaq is looking weak. So this is another chart of crypto versus gold. We're starting to break down. This is a support line with crypto, and it's broken that. It is below it, and this is the danger zone for crypto versus gold. This is Ethereum. Same thing. False breakout. This is the resistance line. It's going down. This is the Bitcoin bearish divergence on a 2-week chart. It's starting to go down. It's not breaking these lines. And then Bitcoin versus gold, exact same thing. We're seeing major market changes, and I'm not about fear, but I'm about data. I'm about history, and history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And I think there's
what you're saying here is this isn't like we can paint what kind of a recession the previous recessions were. Like, housing was in 2008, .com was in 2001. And well, I guess COVID was 2020. Even though that was nothing.
Short-lived.
Yeah. What you're saying is this isn't a recession of any asset or any specific physical asset. Yeah, specific.
Right.
This is a currency depression that we're headed into.
Yeah. Okay. This isn't. They're calling it the everything bubble. So in 1933 it was a stock market the Great Depression was a stock market pop, right? The Ben Bernanke admitted that the Federal Reserve was responsible for the Great Depression because they didn't provide enough liquidity, and they started printing currency into oblivion, and it caused the Roaring '20s. And when people had a similar panic to the panic of 1909, where they went to the bank to get gold and silver, and the stock market crashed, there just wasn't enough. So they were responsible. Then you had the bubble of let's see, they have all the bubble years here, so I'll just quote that. There was a bubble in 1972 that was getting off the gold standard. So inflation, we just depegged from gold and silver, and it was gold and silver skyrocketing, people flocking to gold and silver. That was just an overall currency recession, currency debasement, and then they pegged the dollar to the oil, and then we kind of came out of that. Then in 2000, 2002, we had .com bubble. These are all stock market currency. Then we had our first true global real estate bubble, which was 2008. And then the stock market was drugged down by the real estate bubble. It wasn't a stock market bubble. Stock market was strong. It was just when the real estate bubble popped, you had it drag down the stock market. And then now we had, so in 2000 and 2008, in 2000 we had a stock market bubble. 2008 we had a real estate bubble. Now we're in a real estate bubble, we're in a stock market bubble, and we're in a debt bubble. Meaning sovereign debt. It's the first time. Last year was the first time in 40 years that the debt started decreasing, and the central bank started buying more of their own bonds, the government bonds, versus other banks and other sovereign nations. So the three legs of the global economy, which is the stock market, real estate, and the debt markets, are on bubbles, and we're starting to see it break and pop. On top of that, we have quantitative easing in the amount of currency they're printing, not just in the US, but around the world. And that's what's causing all this, the gold and silver to rise. People are flocking. People feel there's something wrong, right? 78% of Americans, last year a survey came out, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck with not $1,000 to their name. And they don't necessarily know why. We do. It's because they're printing currency and they're stealing the economic energy from people. And they're saying inflation's 2.5%, 2.7%, when in reality it's over 10% year over year over year. And you can prove that by going to Amazon or Walmart, buying something you bought 5 years ago, reorder, and see that the prices are 40 to 60% higher, right? So this is an unprecedented time, because when we were on these other bubbles, we were on a gold standard, except when we got off of it. And then what's happening is currency goes into the stock market, currency goes into real estate, currency goes into cryptocurrency, right? and it creates these bubbles, and everybody thinks, oh, everything's great. No, it's debt being pumped into these different markets, making it seem like everything's okay when inside the structure of our economy is really weak and crumbling.
Mm-hmm. Well said. I can't say anything better. I can't say it better.
All right, man. So we're getting close to the end. I like to keep it around 40, 45 minutes. Any thoughts you want to share with the audience about your company? Let me actually pull up your website here so people can see what it looks like. And any last words before we call it a night?
Yeah, what I would say, there some of the saddest things. I'll say some of the saddest things that I've seen in my business. Right. The first thing that comes to mind is when someone buys gold and silver from me, let's say $1,000, and then the next week, this has literally happened. The next week they want to sell it back, and they're taking a loss because of the buy-sell spread, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, something happened in this person's life that, oh crap, I need the cash to pay our expenses, right? So your advice that you gave earlier about having so many months in cash, so many months in gold, so many months in silver, that is, I endorse that so much. Just because it's although I want to sell gold and silver, I don't want my customers to be hurting, right? Number two is fake gold and silver. It's everywhere. Yeah. We get it very frequently, and sometimes it even fools. Like, don't send me fake gold and silver because of this, right? Sometimes it fools my employees until I do like some double checks and everything. But it's out there. Like, the saddest part is when we had a guy here locally who works at a gas station. He broke his leg, and he was banking on his 1 ounce gold bar to help him make it through his a few months of expenses, right? He talked to me over the phone. He's like, hey, so how do you test these things? And I say, well, I was kind of being sarcastic, and I was like, hey, well, if a magnet sticks to it, oh, no, it's not real, right? And he's like, hold on. I got a magnet right here on the fridge. And he puts a magnet to it, and it's sticking to the gold in the assay bar. And like, I think he broke down crying. And there's like nothing that I could do to ease this guy's pain, right? He was counting on his tier 1 asset to help him pay his bills. And yeah, there you go. This
is a Sigma Metalytics. They don't make them anymore, but Pro Mini. They make $1,000 models, and they sell almost $3,000 models. This tests gold and silver. I took in a great, quote unquote, graded gold ounce, paid $2,600. That tells you when I did it. I sent it into my wholesaler for cash to just liquidate. It was a quick flip, and it was fake. If I would have spent, $2,000, I would have saved myself $600, and it saved me plenty already. So, like, there's, we're probably do an episode to teach people how to test for gold and silver, real gold and silver. Yeah, like you can't do a ping test on one of these, right? This is a gold ounce from Kinesis. You can't ping test this. You can't weigh it either. And the only real way to test these are by buying machines like Sigma Metalytics, and testing it that way. Mm-hmm. So it's sad, man. That's horrible. That breaks my heart to hear that somebody was counting on their gold and it was fake.
Yeah, and that's honestly like the worst part of my job is telling people that their gold or silver is fake. And yeah. I hate nothing more than that. I also hate scammers with a passion. Oh, yeah. because I mean, you're working really hard for your money, and someone just comes right in and decides that they want it. So
yeah, I troll scammers. I get scam text messages, telegrams, and I just go back and forth, and then I start trolling them, and I'm like, I really do not like scammers.
I'll tell you, just to close off right here, just to kind of tell you what kind of person, I am in our business too. We had a scam come in. Some guy bought $50,000 worth of gold, and that's 50 with 3 zeros behind it. I was packaging it up. It cleared the sniff test. It was the guy's account, everything. I was packaging it up, and then I got an email saying, "Hey, we're doing a chargeback has been filed for $50,000 for this transaction," right? So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank God that I didn't send it yet," right? What this guy did was he broke into some old grandma's account.
Oh no.
He changed the information on that account to be his own, and then he sent an ACH to my company. Everything checked out. Everything was perfect, right? And until the bank caught on, the lady tried to access her account and she couldn't. Then the chargeback came, right? So this $50,000 was about to head out the door. I thought, I can't just not send anything. So what I did was I printed a picture of Jesus Christ, and I wrote on the back my testimony saying that you probably lack peace in your life, and Jesus Christ is the way to find lasting peace. And anyways, I put that in the box and I sent it to him. He sent me a really nasty email saying, "Where's my gold?" And I said, "Look, what I sent you is probably the best thing I could have sent you." And so yeah, I leave it at that. I hate scammers. Don't buy fake gold. And what's the other one? And make sure you have cash, because cash is important. And also throw in food storage.
Yes, I got about four or 5 months worth of food just in case. I'm going to be growing that up to maybe a year. But 100%, man, that's a great story, man. That's definitely showing, love to your enemies. They very dislike scammers and what they do and how they hurt people. But yeah, when you can do that and share your testimony with people, man, that's very powerful. And that's a perfect example of what it's like to be Christ-like. This is not a Christian channel. This is my personal views, not the views of Citizens for Sound Money. Just making it sure, putting my disclaimer out there. So, but yeah, man, no, I really appreciate that. I think that really tells people and shows people your heart and why you're doing what you're doing. I have a similar thing. I want to protect people from the evils of this fiat economy, and I try to give people the best advice I can. Like I told you, the cash and the gold, and really breaking it down from my experience with the stock market. And just, it's always been my mission. If anybody's seen my interviews from when I was a kid, I've been involved in politics to try to stop what happened in my family's country to happen in my country, and it just kind of went into the same thing, helping people. So, Koda, I really appreciate it. Are there any socials you want us to share? If people follow you, you have YouTube or something?
Yeah, and we're really active on Reddit. We do have a YouTube channel. I do go over a few videos on how to test fakes, as well as there is a Facebook page out there too.
All right, guys. Well, everybody go ahead and follow and subscribe to Defy the Grid, I'm assuming is your handles?
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
At Defy the Grid on all the socials. Go ahead and support their company. And if you want to support Defy the Grid and Citizens for Sound Money, take down that referral code, buy some gold and silver. We get a little bit of a kickback for sharing the good news of sound money. So, all right, Koda, thank you so much. We will definitely have you on again, and you have a great evening. All right, brother?
You too. You too. Good night.
Good night. All right, everybody, that is our live broadcast with Koda from Defy the Grid. Hey, go ahead and support them. Buy your gold and silver, buy your goldbacks from Defy the Grid. And in the meantime, if you want to support our mission, visit us at Citizens for Sound Money. Go to become a member. And when you become a member, there are two options. There is a $25 Pioneer member. You become a member, you get access to something called metal markup. And if you do $100, you get a half ounce of digital silver from Kinesis and you get access to our exclusive Bullion aggregator called Metal Markup, exclusively for Pioneer members. You only get access to this if you're a member. This pulls the cheapest gold and silver prices in Canada and the US. Right now, constitutional silver is the cheapest, but you can scroll down and it pulls up the lowest prices. It's better than findbullionprices.com. But if you're not only purchasing gold and silver for the lowest price, but you're purchasing for a purpose, I highly recommend you get Defy the Grid. They have great prices, and you heard the man's heart. He's trying to help as many people as possible. If you want a tax write-off and supporting our education foundation, you go to soundmoneymovement.org. You go to fund our scholarships, our TV show, our curriculum development program, or our Sound Money Academy. We're currently developing curriculum to teach people financial literacy and sound money principles. And if you're watching on YouTube or on X, go to, let me pull this up. Where is there it is. Subscribe on YouTube at For Sound Money. We recently broke 1,000. We're 1,080 right now. We're trying to get to 2,000. So go ahead and subscribe and follow us on X. If you are on YouTube, head over to X, and it's the same handle, For Sound Money. Well, everybody, that is our live broadcast for this evening. Really appreciate you all coming and listening to the great guests. We've had some amazing people. Koda, David Morgan. We had Gary Barsdorf, Jeremy Kaufman, and we're just going to keep bringing more and more people on from the movement and from different areas of the sound money industry and sound money movement. This Friday, our live broadcast is going to be with the new chairwoman of the Sound Money Trade Association. She also works for Goldback, Kim Coleman. So make sure you put that on your calendar and go ahead and watch us at 7 p.m. Eastern. The live broadcast, not the live broadcast, the recorded broadcast will be on there. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great week, and God bless.